Whoops. Let's see. Here we go. Hey! I forgot I'm not at the machine. How are you guys? Happy Saturday. I have the camera really zoomed in because if I don't, the gingham kind of does something crazy on the camera. Hey Malin, hey Louise. How's it going? So, I'm wearing my Myosotis dress that I just made yesterday, and I love it. It's so comfortable. I feel like I'm going for that baby doll look now. But whatever. Hey Patty. Thanks for the heads up, Patty. Hey Eva. So, how are you guys? You guys having a good Saturday? How does everything look? I have my table's pretty neglected here. I had to repair this mesh. Have you seen those it's like a magnetic mesh door? So instead of putting a screen door on a door, you can get this mesh and you can Velcro it to the perimeter so no bugs get in, and then down the center it's a magnetic opening so it snaps shut. Well, we're on our second one. First one lasted a long time, but the second one, Loki started tearing up right away because we can't get his nails trimmed because of the stay-at-home thing, and he won't let me grind them down. So I was repairing it. So there's mesh bits everywhere. So hey Terry, hey Derek, hello from California. Hey PA, how's it going? Yay! Hey Maribel, Alabama, awesome. I don't think I've ever been to Alabama. Cool. So, yeah, so I'm making this Myosotis dress on the one on the left with the ruffles. I know, right? When I first saw this, I was like, wow, it's kind of over the top. And then I couldn't get it out of my head. I don't know why. So I'm wearing the one on the right. And I'll show you, I can show you a little bit better. I'm going to have to zoom out. Like I said, I have it really zoomed in so you can kind of see it a little better. And then I put cutaway pockets on the side, and by cutaway I mean there's a curve right here so that you can see the opening. I'll show it to you onto the other camera too. But then it has the little collar stand, and then the placket naturally pulls away in a V. I didn't even use buttonholes. I know. Because I can get it on over my head, and I figure, I might use these, but I'm so in love with these buttons by Tabitha Sewer. The color green they are is so amazing, but I may want them for something else. So anyway, yeah. Oh, was that you that commented on Instagram, PA, and said that the waist grew a little bit? So anyway. Yeah, I love cutaway pockets. I put them on a lot of things. It's easier to get my hands in there. These are a little shallow because I did use their pocket as the template, so I'm going to make them a little deeper and the opening a little bigger. So we'll make that today too. All right, so let me go back to this. You're seeing that this board right here is how I have a camera mounted and looking down. I jury-rigged it at the last second once. Okay, let me see. I have to zoom this in again. I see streamers do this stuff in one click, and I just don't know how they do it. So I don't really like being this zoomed in. So I did this Instagram live yesterday really quick. And I was so nervous. My voice was quavery. I blushed. I don't mind being here, but that was really, I think it's just because you see when people enter and you see their names, where people can watch and lurk on YouTube and I have no clue if they're there or not. And I appreciate that as a viewer myself. I like to lurk sometimes and not have the pressure to have to interact. Maybe I just want them on in the background, Oh, right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I ended up just cutting that piece out and putting vinyl there. I was going to repair it with my old one, but I didn't have a piece wide enough. So I ended up putting a piece of vinyl there, so he can't do that now. But yeah, it was so funny. So I had wanted to say a bunch of things, and then I just totally forgot. And now I looked yet last night or this morning, and that thing is on my timeline twice. So I don't understand how that works. So if anyone has insight, I was kind of hoping. Brooke's always my go-to for teaching me how to do those things. Like, we've literally been away at shows in a hotel room side by side, and she's like, no, now you click there, now you click there. Like, yeah. So yeah, right, PA. I was a little nervous about that, but it's pretty fine. But that is pretty low. Yeah. But it doesn't pull or anything, so, you can see my first button right there. But I really like it. I love the way it feels. Growing out bangs, man. Oh boy, I don't think I'm gonna last. Anyway, so I have this. This looks really good in person. On camera, it falls a little flat. It is definitely. It's just such this amazing watercolor print. Double gauze, and I don't know if you saw whatever we bought with double gauze yesterday. I'm just gonna say it straight up. I don't really like sewing with it. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I don't know why I don't really like sewing with it, except it feels like it's actively fighting against me a little bit. Like, I feel like like, I can't see it here. Maybe it's when it's cut on the length grain. That's the cross grain right there. This is the selvage. Maybe it's, I don't know. It just feels like the two layers, because double gauze is two layers of fabric, and it's stitched together, which it's just microscopic. You can barely tell. We could actually see it on that hedgehog dress occasionally. This seems a little more stable. Actually, it actually does feel a lot better. Maybe I won't have problems with this. So, and then Rachel said that she's gotten, Rachel from Oak Blue Design, she's the one who handles my the pattern testing. She said that she gets some at a place called Atelier Brunette, and that she really likes there. So I'm gonna try and remember that. But this is definitely not the same brand. The other stuff was I don't know, maybe like Moda or Robert Kaufman or one of the more mainstream quilt companies. And this is, I think, a Japanese fabric. So different brand, different company. I don't think there's anything on the selvage. I got it from Hearts Fabric, and I actually asked them. I said, hey, will that work for a Myosotis? And Lexi was like, absolutely. So I was like, good, because I want that. So anyway, got all my pattern pieces out, and I'm just going to make these cutaway pocket changes real quick. And then also, I thought about like lowering the waist maybe a little bit, but I'm not really sure I'm going to, like, I don't know. I don't want to look like a parade float. I feel like anything that makes me look like, it reminds me of being pregnant and being like 9 months pregnant in a dress and feeling like a parade float, walking around because your footprint is just like huge. So, yeah, right, PA? So I did French seams on that hedgehog dress, and I did the sleeve. Really gave me a lot. What was the thing that gave me a lot of trouble, you guys? I felt like I should have edge stitched all the edges of that fabric before I did it. So, and then the waist, like, I ended up doing a kind of a interesting flat felled style waist seam on that dress. Meaning basically I just like hemmed it over it, and that was pretty tricky. And I don't know. Darts with double gauze. Why do you say that? I'm interested to say that. Because I like shaping. I'm curvy enough that shaping, I think, is more flattering, The sleeve is actually pretty good. I mean, like, I'm definitely, I'm always critiquing sleeves. There's definitely, like, I don't know if you can see that it has that little back fold wrinkle thing. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but I noticed it. This sleeve is actually, it fits really nice. Look at that. I'm trying to figure out where I'm at on the camera. It fits very nice. Okay, so here's the only thing. It actually is very comfortable even when I lift up my arms, but the whole dress, see that? It comes with it. It's a perfect opportunity to add a lift to the sleeve, and I've talked about these before. If you guys really want me to do it, I will, but I don't actually really feel like it needs it because it's loose enough and really comfortable. The dress is great, and adding the lift will add some fabric to the sleeve right here. So it's kind of one of those, you know, do I? Because I think the sleeve looks really nice. It's really comfortable. I do not feel hindered in any way. It looks great. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not trying to say something's wrong with it. It is actually a pretty good drafted sleeve. It's that when the whole garment goes with you sometimes, you know, and that's true for a lot of sleeves. You can add a lift, and basically what you do is you raise up the underarm right here, like this. And then you make sure that whatever that change is lengthwise of this whole sleeve cap, whatever that change you made, you make sure that you adjust it by the same amount to the armhole. But this is a nice close armhole. So, hey Claire, nice to see you too. Okay, Terry. Huh, okay, Penny. Or, your name's Penny, right? I keep wanting to call you Penny, but I thought I saw Penny. Oh, it was Patty, that's what it is. It's Penny. Yeah, I've done a lift before, and I can't remember what I did. I really wish I could, like, tag things. I'm sure I could tag things. I don't know why I'm saying that. What I need to do, I need like a catalog of where I did what in what video, you know what I mean? Because I'm not going back through and watching all that stuff. When I saw how many hours I had on YouTube, I was like, ooh, it's a lot. But yeah, so basically, yeah, you're just adding this little bit right here, basically, because this is, oh my gosh, where am I on the camera? See, because it's doing that. You can imagine, like, say if you pop these stitches right here, right? Just this little section, say between the notches, you know? And then you let the dress drop down and the sleeve come up, and you filled that in. So that's basically what you're doing. But there's consequences, right? The consequences are you're adding fabric there. So when your arm is down, like, this isn't going to be great on certain garments because maybe the fabric is a really like satiny solid, and that kind of like bulk right there would really show. It would look, it probably wouldn't be noticeable to other people, but you might be distracted by it because you have that discerning eye, right? You're going to start looking at things like that. So okay, Ray, cool. Yeah, so yeah, that's the way I look at it. Anytime I'm looking at like changes in a garment and where I want to like tighten it or loosen it, I kind of look at that. I'm like, what would happen if I took out these stitches right now? And then, you know, you have this like opening there. So how do you fill that opening? Well, you add a little bit here. You probably wouldn't add much here. This armhole's pretty close fitting, but you can add a little bit here or take it in a little bit. And then that way you've lengthened this spot right here. And it's so nice. Like, I always do it on basic bodice, like blouses, because those were, once upon a time, they were cut shorter than they are now. Now, you know, now I feel like things are going back up again. And anytime I would lift up my arms, my shirt would get so high. It was a little bit, for obvious reasons, right? So, yeah, right, Terry? I know men's shirts can be very tailored, close fitting. Hi, Ramona. It has been forever, right? Yeah, so yeah, I don't know, Penny. I feel like they're all so different. Like, I have a Dahlia dress, the Dahlia by Colette Patterns. I have a bunch of those Dahlia dresses, and I really love it. I have the sleeveless one. I've never made the one with sleeves. And I made one out of the double gauze, and I really love how that dress feels. It feels very floaty and light, and it kind of stays away from my body, which I kind of like because it's so hot here. It's going to be 108 here tomorrow. But what I noticed is it's so gosh darn hard to iron it, and I only need to iron it at the hems. Like, I don't really need to iron it. It can stay kind of like this, kind of like, I don't know, what do you call this? It's kind of like this actually doesn't look, I just ironed it in spots, but you can see where I didn't. I want to say spongy. It's not, it's like very flat. It's not spongy. But where I have hems, the wrinkle I get there, it's just like, it's not even, it's worse than linen. It's different. It's like you're ironing it. It's like ironing a sponge. Like, if you can imagine what that would be like, the sponge would be like, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, that's kind of what it does. So anyway, let's get going. So yeah, so the lift is, you're just going to add like, I typically don't add much more than an inch. So Terry, yeah, you would raise up your underarm here an inch and blend it in. And you're going to measure on your seam line. How much did you lengthen or shorten your cap? You probably shortened it a little bit. And then you're going to take that amount with, like, it's like probably like 1/4 or 3/8 of an inch. It's not going to be that much. And you're going to go out here, split the difference, right, on both your side seam here. And remember, so measure this. So don't measure these armholes and the cap to match each other. Just change it by the difference you made. Because remember, these are different from each other right now. And you want that amount to be different when you're done as well. Because yes, you could cheat. You could add this lift and not change the armhole. If it makes this longer, it's going to be harder to sew it in. If it makes it shorter, then it just gets easier to sew in. But you don't want that, because you're going to compromise fit up here. You don't want to compromise your fit up here. If that makes sense. So yeah, I'm curious, do they have like a full bicep, Terry? Is that what you're thinking? I mean, it's like, you can see novice pattern drafters draft sleeves, and they get so excited about how, because I've done this, so excited about how great the sleeve looks. It just hangs beautiful. It's perfect. And then they go to lift their arm and they're like, and it's because it's just so much going on right there. You really need to make sure you add, you know, for the gush that I like to call the gush, you need this amount here, and then you need that mobility. And a closer fitting armhole is better. All right. So, okay, so I'm going to do 2 things today. I don't know why this pattern piece does this right here. You see that? How it doesn't match right there? They probably have their reason, but I didn't see anything, so I'm gonna make this as less fuss as possible, since I'm so spooked by the double gauze. And I'm gonna make the cutaway pocket, and I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna do 3 things. I'm gonna show you how to add hem allowance. So if you're making this and you don't make the ruffled version like the one I'm making, there's no hem allowance on the sleeve. At least, maybe there wasn't, because I would have left it on there, because I was cutting this one. They made it so this is a seam for the ruffle, and it's really easy to add the hem allowance. I'm going to show you how to do that. I meant to get paper, and I forgot to get paper. Where'd my paper at? Let me find my paper. I can't even remember where it's at. Wow. It's been so long. Is this paper? No, that's not paper. I realized I was about to go live, and I was like, oh shoot, I'm not ready. Maybe it's at the other table. I finally cleared off a table. But I just don't know. I'll just show you on, oh, here we go. This will work. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to quickly show you how to add a hem allowance. Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly, Terry. I think that's true. Yep, Ray. That's a really good way of looking at it. Yeah, exactly. So, if you know, the thing is, like, blending that amount, if you lift this up here, this underarm up here, you know, so it would look like, hopefully I'm using the back of a pattern. Yeah, so if you did the lift, right? Here's your notch. Say you're adding about an inch right here, right? If you can blend that into the notch, great, but you might not be able to. You may need to be like that, right? So yeah, if you want to measure on the seam line what that is compared to what this is, the original, and then what you did to it, and what's that difference, you don't have to worry about this at all. That's a far more palatable way to probably attempt to do this too. So yeah, Terry, it would. Yeah, that gusset, would that account? Yeah. Yeah, that's a very folkwear patterns way to do it. I like it. It's very like, you know, pre-scissors. When they used to cut clothes out pre-scissors, nothing had curves. So they would tear everything and everything was a square or a rectangle. And that's how they got the contour in the sleeve, was they had a triangle gusset and you did this whole origami thing to fold it in there and sew it in. I highly recommend, if you're really interested in like really understanding like the evolution of pattern drafting, pattern cutting, whatever you call it, sewing like an older folkwear pattern that is like a older like the poet's blouse or something like that, you can do that, and it's really fun. It's not hard. It's really cool. Yes, I do, Louise. Yep. Yeah, you want to do it like in this whole area right here on both sides. And then yeah, same thing, like measure here, you know, what you have here. Yeah, you don't need to measure this. You need to measure this. Measure here and then measure your new one. What's that difference? Is it plus 3/8? I would, you know, go out 3/8 on here. Sorry, it's not a very formal way to do it. I could look up in my book and really kind of tell you the whole thing about it. Maybe we'll do that someday. But I love lifts, and I've added them to a lot of things. Sometimes I've just done it and I don't even think twice about it. I like doing this without you seeing my bra or my belly button. So, you know. All right, so let's add this hem real quick. I'm just going to use removable tape because I don't actually need a hem on here today. So you need to tape a piece of paper to the bottom here. And then say you want to add a 3/4 inch hem, you're going to add a 3/4 inch parallel hem to the bottom here. I'm going to tell you why there's no hem allowance too, because why I say that that's no hem allowance. Okay, so the easiest way to get around this, well, I hope it works, Terry. That's awesome, you guys. Yeah, I think a lift would be a really great dedicated uploaded video. I need to start writing these things down. I need a secretary. So if you don't want to go through the whole trouble of adding a shaped hem allowance, just make sure that you like the quick and dirty way, and I'm not saying you're gonna like the results as much as this sleeve looks here. Right, Ray? Yeah, exactly. But if you just make this underarm perpendicular to like straighten this out, straighten your hemline out here, whoop, and then straighten this out so that this right here basically stovepipe, right? So it's straight, and then when it hems up, it has the same amount going to when you fold it up, the hemline is sewing to a spot that's the exact same length, because right now it's not. It looks like it is, but it's not. This is because this is a curve right here, just because this is a right angle, because this is the curve, this measurement here is smaller than where it would sew to, and then you'd have that pulling in. So you can just add a hem allowance. And if you like this length, then shorten it first and then add your hem allowance. But all you really need to do is add, or you can just take, I'm making this really complicated. You don't even need to add this. If you just want this with your hem allowance, so say you want the 3/4, you can do this. Add your 3/4 line, and then you're going to add a little bit of a wing here. And see, look, it's at a right angle. So we're gonna have to kind of fill it in. Because remember how I have done this and it's not a right angle here? And I get that little wing out right here. Well, this one, it looks like it's going to sew, but it wouldn't. Yeah, because it's bigger. It's bigger by about 1/4 of an inch, not very much. So just add like 1/8 of an inch there and get that shape right there. You know what I mean? So 3/4 of an inch. And then add, gosh, I keep getting hung up on that. Add your 1/8 of an inch and then wing out. You just need this, whatever you're folding this up to be the same measurement. If that makes sense. So, can you even see that? You've seen this hem shape before. That's what you're looking for. You basically, whatever your hem allowance is here, that line you're sewing up here to the sleeve needs to be the same length. If it's not, you're gonna have to ease it in, which is not the case in this one. You have to stretch it out, and that's not possible. And so what happens is where you stitch the hem, it pulls in your shirt, and it's constantly something you're gonna be trying to iron out all the time. Yeah, exactly. So just add a little bit of a wing there. Or you know what, if you really like need that visual thing, fold up the piece of paper and try and get it to lay flat, and you'll see, like, if you tried to fold this up, you guys know instantly right now, right? It would not lay flat, right? So that's all I'm talking about. So super easy to fix. I got around it by using binding as my hem on the inside. I was gonna do a contrast. I have this like big orange gingham from one of the things we sewed for hearts. What was that for? Is that Decades of Style apron maybe? But I was like, oh, I don't know. So I didn't do it. Okay, so that's how you do that. So now I'm gonna do a cutaway pocket on the side here. And I'm gonna do this facing here. Yeah, exactly. I know, Louise. You know, Louise, I think the easiest way to do those shaped hems, honestly, if you're trying to remember how to do it every time, you're like, wait, how do I do that again? Because I remember always like going, how do I do this? Just fold up the paper there. And then, you know, when you fold up the paper on the hem line, right? And then you cut this line, you'll get your shape. It's just very misleading on here because this is actually a right angle, which I love. I love that this is a right angle. I just know that because this is curved, it's this, you know, it's just not gonna work. So if you tried to fold this all the way up, you cannot do it without it tearing. Right? It can't do it. There, you can see it. Like, that's what happens. We have all experienced this. You're like, oh, my dress is done, or the sleeve is done. My whole outfit's done. I just need to hem my sleeves. And then you're like, what the heck? I can't get it to fit, you know? And so that's why. All right, so I'm going to raise up my pocket probably 2 inches. Maybe 1 3/4. Let's see, is that right? It's nice when you've made a, I cannot see past my boob. Sorry, guys. Well, maybe I didn't get that in the right spot. Let's see here. It's a 5/8 inch seam allowance. This is where I want my pocket opening to be. Just like that. And then this is, I used their pocket for the, you can't even see my pocket, I know. But here you go, see? You can see that it's the gingham is on the bias right there. So that's my little cutaway opening. See, it's a curve. Yeah, it's for me, Louise. I bought the fabric from Hearts, but it's mine. So I only found the opening there. I didn't have enough of this gingham, so that's why I did the cutaway pocket on this. I literally, this was all I had. This plus the bias for my sleeves. I had enough to do the bias for my sleeves. Oh, this is all I had. So I was like, okay, I can't make pockets. So, and you know, we have to have pockets. So what I did was I used poplin for my pocket, and I just faced the opening right here. So there's just a 2-inch piece here. So that it looks like my pockets are the gingham. So this is kind of one way to save fabric. If you're using really expensive fabric and you kind of want a chunk left, that's a good. No, it is not. But you probably are now understanding that because I said that after you probably typed that. So I only did that as a contrast, as a fun feature. But yeah, so the whole pocket is this white. And I just did a little facing right there at the opening so you could see it. And then I used the poplin for the binding too. You can't even tell. So this is their pocket shape. I'm just going to make it a little bit deeper. And then I'm going to make my opening like 1/4 of an inch bigger because I am having a little trouble getting my hand in there. It's like it fits perfect. But like I'll show you my phone in here. I have a big phone, so it doesn't fit all the way. So when I'm sitting down, it almost fell out this morning. My husband was like, yeah, your phone's about to fall, and then it did. Okay. So I didn't make a pattern piece for this, which was really silly. So now I kind of like gotta recreate it. But I'm definitely going to do this as my, I did the 44 as well. So we're gonna go here. This is my size right here. I made the 44, by the way. I am almost at the top of their printed size range for the Azara skirt. I was. So 24, 42, 44. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna make this pocket a little bigger. And then I really want nicer paper though. Is this big enough? Yeah, that'll be big enough. We haven't even started cutting. I'm also going to smooth this out right here. So if you have any pocket in your pattern library that resembles this, it's a really great starting point. And if you remember, if you have sewn it and you used it, you can kind of check it out, right? You can kind of see, oh, how does this work for me and how does it fit for my hands, and then make your adjustments based on that, right? So I feel like, you know, my hand fits perfectly in here. The pocket's just stitched to the dress. I don't know if you can see that stitch line there. So it actually is a great pocket, and typically your opening is 5.5 inches wide for a women's pocket. I think 5.5 to 6 for men's. And then you just need to decide what you want out of your pocket. So I'm going to make mine, more is not better, people. Have you ever been sitting down in your handmade pants and you were like, I'm making big pockets? And then you're like, oh yeah, this is so wrong because your stuff is sitting there on your thigh. and you can't even get it out. I don't know. Hey, Nancy. So, yeah, more is not always better, you guys. Do the math. So I'm just going to make mine slightly deeper and wider, just like that. I may need to make my pocket bigger this way to get the opening I want. I'm going to check. Yeah, so this pocket opening here, it ended up being 4 3/4. So that proves my point. Yeah, right, Nancy? I have done that. I'm like, nice big pockets. And then I was like this, trying to get stuff out of my pockets. It was so dumb. I remember I ended up like taking them to the machine, sewing across the bottom and just hacking it off. Yeah, Nancy, totally. Yeah, you know what I mean. All right, so there's enough room here. It's a 7-inch. I made that about 7 1/4 there. So I need to make sure that I sew this above that notch on the skirt, right? So this is going to be my opening. That's where I want my opening. And the opening goes on the skirt itself, right? So we know we want an opening here. I'm just gonna sketch that on there for now. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this out. Right, Ramona? Yeah. Yeah, too small and too big, right? Yeah, exactly, Ramona. I totally agree. Like, I like to put my eyeglasses, my phone, my car keys, sometimes my lip stuff, and sometimes my wallet. I don't have a purse. I know that's crazy because I make them here, but I just don't use a purse. I don't know why. They're just very cumbersome to me. I will use one. I'll be like, oh, I love this purse, and I'll use it for a while, and then I'm like ditching it. So, right, Ramon, exactly. I am. I have it zoomed in really far, Nancy, because it gets kind of funky. Like the cameras do that little thing. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm really zoomed in. It's really funny. I feel like, I don't know why it looks funny to me. Okay, so let's see here. So this is actually, maybe this isn't big enough, but you don't really need this much bigger. So that's 4 3/4. See, and there's my hand. That's 5 right here. See, so 4 3/4 gives me about 1/2 inch of wiggle room. So you definitely want your opening to be 5 to 5.5 inches. And with the curve, that is going to help it. So let's just do it at about, I'm going to do 5 1/4. Do 5 1/4 here. And then the depth of it, I know I want it more like 1 1/4 inches. So remember, you have your 5/8 inch seam here. I'll use a different color. Let's see. Which one's the sharpest? That one's pretty sharp. Oh, that one's even sharper. Okay, so we'll do that. And then where's my, oh, this is the bad ruler. Okay, great. All right, so here's my seam allowance. So focus on my blue line. That's my seam line, right? I don't know, Louise, and I got it a long time ago. I feel like I got it from Stone Mountain and Daughter or somewhere I don't usually order. I have been wanting one for several years. Yeah, well, it works for you, Terry, so that's awesome. And I definitely am one of those people that sits down at the cafe to have a really nice lunch with you, and then all my crap sits there. So, good for you. Like, clunk, 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 and that's why I have pockets, so, It turned out interesting. I I love sewing these. They're really fun. Sometimes I'm like, does this dress really need this kind of pocket? And I don't care. I really like it. Okay, so that's my seam line, right? And so I want this to be, I'm going to say 1 3/8 deep this way, the curve. So basically this distance right here. Because right now, well, maybe I want it more, because I thought just now when I measured it, it was about 1 inch. Yeah, so this is about 1 1/8 inches. And I told myself I want this at least 1/4 inch bigger all the way around. And then so I said it was 4 3/4, so I'm gonna make it 5 1/2. And then here's this right here. So basically that's my opening, okay? This is my finished opening. All right. I'm gonna make it a more pleasing curve. Now I'm going to add the seam allowance. I don't usually draft with Sharpies. Kind of annoying. Okay, so now I'm gonna add seam allowance to the curve. Wait, did I just go from here? Is this my size? This is my size, right? Oh, I didn't. Shoot, I'm a little confused now. I thought I was keeping it straight. This is it right here. That's my curve right there. Oh my gosh. Yell at me. Okay. Okay, here's my opening. Let's double check it before we get Sharpie it all up again. I did 5 1/4. Here's my depth. Get your curve that you want. You can do any kind of curve you want. You can do kind of like a reverse J. I'm just going for like the letter D. Okay, something like that. And now I need to add my seam allowance to it. So that's my seam line. That's my seam line. I'm adding my seam allowance to the curve. So I'm just going to add 1/4 inch. I like 1/4 inch seams. Sorry it's so messy. I obviously don't hold my patterns sacred, do I? And that's going to go to the cut line. Cut line. Okay? So this is not that red line. That is my cut line. So I'm sorry that's so messy. So basically you need to figure out, you know, what your opening is. So let's pretend this is the finished line, right? And then this is our seam allowance, right? Okay, this is our cut line. This is our sew line. This is our finished opening. Figure out what you want for your depth. Draw your curve. And now you need to add your seam allowance to that curve and blend it out to your cut line. So I like 1/4 inch. You can do bigger if you want, but I'll tell you what, you're going to trim it all off to get that curve to lay nice, all right? So just, and you can go all the way down there. Go just straight down there. I know it looks bigger, but remember, this is your seam line, okay? Does that make sense? Why is the color so bad? You can't even see color. Where's the color? Is that better? I can't see it. Let's see. So red, right? Okay. All right, I'm gonna cut this. Am I gonna cut this off? I'm not gonna cut this off yet. All right, so Now, I am going to do only, like I sewed this one, where I'm going to have one piece of fabric under here. And I'm going to bind or face this opening, right? So, if you want 2 layers of fabric, like you want to sew a whole piece of fabric that's under this top skirt, under the skirt right here. So instead of binding this right here, you can do that. But remember, you're stitching this down to the skirt, and that will hinder the movement of the skirt or whatever you're sewing it to. So if you want a more of a boardy, stiffer, maybe you want that extra layer because it's a warmer garment, that's fine. Maybe you're doing outerwear. These are very popular in certain outerwear garments, and what we would do at Cocotat is on that under pocket, so this is the one your palm is on, but the one on your hand where the curve is would have a fleece, a soft warm fleece or a wool, and that way that would be warming your hand in your pocket, and we would stitch that to like in the middle of the pocket piece so that it would pass a seam sealing testing. You can't put it into the seam, but you could stitch it to the middle. So there's reasons to have that, but I am going to only put fabric here. I'm going to have one pocket piece, and then I'm going to bind the opening. If you want to face the opening, that's fine. You can just cut a piece that is the width of your facing in this exact shape. Just go off the edge there. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why the color is so bad. Like, this looks pretty true. These look pretty true. I don't know. All right, so let's cut. So this is my new pocket, my new and improved pocket, and I want to sew this. So that notch, I'm not paying attention to that notch. This is where I want my opening. This red line is my cut line, right? So I want to center this pocket over that red cut line. And remember, this needs to be big enough that when you use your seam allowance, you're not getting too close to that opening there. So I could probably stand to make this bigger, because here's my cut line right here. It's right here and right here. So I'm getting pretty close. If I use their 5/8 inch seam allowance, you could actually make this a little bit bigger and be a little safer, but I'll probably, on pockets, I never follow the seam allowance. I just always make my pockets bigger. So I will just use a smaller seam allowance there rather than just redrafting it. But just remember to pay attention to this opening in the width here. You could do it, but just remember you're stitching this directly to the garment, so it's not hard. It's just that you're really shallow there and you're really close to the edge. It's actually it's fine. But you know, if you wanted to like kind of that top stitching line to be away from that pocket opening, you might want to back it off a little bit, if that makes sense. I'm out of practice, guys, sorry. All right, I'm gonna put this in here so I don't cut this one by accident. Now let's cut away. I gotta make the space. I'm really hoping one of my blades is good too. I just realized I have my door open and the air on. I may need to shut that. All right, so I have a lot of fabric. Not like the gingham dress. I was really pulling a magic trick when I cut that one out. Like a full-on magic trick. I sat there like a couple times going, uh-oh, you know, those moments. So I don't have my fabric folded quite yet because I want to make sure, because I'm going to fold it different ways for both. Oh, I didn't do the facing yet. Huh. Where's that facing piece? I just want to fill this in. I don't get it. just gonna tape this on here and just do it. You don't have to do this. I don't know. I am like always intrigued by like when someone does something like this where the piece goes to like right here. I'm always like, oh, that's interesting. What is the, hey Cass, what is the, I want to know, like, okay, cool, do something different, but tell me why. And I understand now why people don't, like why pattern companies don't, because every line of text you add to a pattern is a huge decision. and I understand that better now, because in a way, okay, see now I know why they did this actually. Just doing that, I know why. I'll tell you in just a second. So every little thing I say, if it can be interpreted 6 different ways, I leave it out. Because at that point, I would much rather it be a conversation later on and someone say, hey, why did you do that? And I can say, well, you know, I don't have room to put all 6 explanations there in the document sometimes. So sometimes that's why. All right, so I'll show you why they did this. I know why. Just make sure I got that right. As soon as I started tracing this, I have a feeling I know. Okay, so it would create this point. I'm pretty sure that's all it is. Simple as that. That point can be a problem for lots of reasons for people. And if you were doing mass garment production, they would not let that fly. This would be so hard to cut in a factory. In fact, I definitely made alterations to patterns throughout my career that did that. Other people's patterns and my own. So I see why, but we're not production sewing. I don't know why we even lost the curve right there. So I'm gonna leave it in. It'll be fine. The seam allowance at the neckline made it so that it didn't matter that it didn't reach. It's either that or it's just like one of those weird little oversights, but so I just made mine match, that's all. Yeah, isn't this fabric amazing? I don't know how they photographed it on their website because I can't get it to photograph for anything. Okay. So let's see here. Where's my back? I love how I think I'm still this wide. I am not that wide anymore. Oh, maybe I barely am. But not really. Okay, I don't think this fabric has a one-way or a direction, so I think I'm okay there. So I'm gonna... and I apologize, I never look at layouts unless I don't understand a pattern piece. You can by all means follow their layout. I'm sure it's great. I don't know why. I can see I'm off grain, that's why I'm fiddling with it. I can't tell, like, is it the grain? Is it the stitching of the gauze? You know? Look at, do you see this curve though? I don't like curves. I want a nice straight line right here. I feel like this fabric could be really pale on me, but I like it too much that I don't care. All right. Oh, I need some pins. I finally got my game last night, you guys. Man, what a saga. I'm so excited to play it. But, oh, my poor husband, man. Remember he ordered that copy? He was like, he felt terrible that our internet wasn't getting hooked up. So he ordered a copy. I ordered one too. I was like, oh no, cancel yours. He's like, can't cancel it. And so, y'all are going to have to help me. And so I got on hold and all that. And apparently he ordered it to be shipped. Right. What could, Penny? Thanks, Daphne. I was so nervous. Could you tell? I don't know why I was so nervous. Yeah, right, Cecile? Exactly. I've actually asked strangers if that mustardy color, like in fabric stores, I'm like, how's it? They're like, mm-mm. And I'm like, but I like it so much. So, yeah. Yeah, I know what you meant, Daphne. Yeah, so I went on hold, and they were like, oh, he ordered it overnight shipping. I was like, what? Why does he feel this bad? It's no big, it's just a game, right? You know? I know, it was so thoughtful. So I couldn't cancel his, but I could cancel mine. On top of ordering it overnight, he shipped it to our old address. So then we were both watching it yesterday. I came into work yesterday, and I was going to go pick it up. And they, I don't know how UPS knew we moved, but they were like, oh, sorry, these people have moved, we can't deliver it. So then my husband was just like, oh my God. So then they were like, oh, you can come pick it up at 7:30 or 8. So my daughter went and picked it up. It was a full-on family effort to get me that game. So it was in my hands last night at 10:30. I was already falling asleep, so I just went to bed, and so tonight I'm gonna get to play it. I'm not used to this cutter, and it was a gift from someone that comes to the stream, which was really nice. So I have a different hand position, so it is good. It makes me like sit there and slow down and think about it. Yeah, I know the blade's open. Don't message me, please. All right, I'm just gonna knit my dart leg, and then I need, you know, a little number would be just ever so helpful right here, you know? It's not even the wrong side of the fabric. So I'm gonna keep marking here. Here we go. I hate it when I do that to myself. I rush through the cutting and then I don't mark the darts from the inside of the fabric. I'm gonna mark my center back neck with a little, and my waist. I just cut across it. It's a 5/8 inch seam allowance. I'm actually gonna probably cut a lot of that seam allowance off the neckline at the end if I remember, or I'll do it tomorrow, Wednesday when I sew. All right, so we have our back. We have our front now. Ooh, I can't wait for this. No, it's a double gauze. Does it look like a rayon to you? I guess it could. Oh, that's cool, Nancy. Yeah, Nancy, exactly. Mustard and orange. Oh my God, I went through such a huge orange and lime green phase. Just ask any of my friends. But did that stop me? No. All right, so let's see here. I have nice big rectangles that I'm going to move right here and do at the end. I have two small pattern pieces. I'm trying to decide if I can do my fronts one on top of the other. Or, yeah. Do one. Just like this. Actually, maybe I'll flip flip it. I really don't think that there's a direction. And I'll line up my selvages. You know? Yeah, this is the Fiskars, exactly. That, yeah. And I've used the Olfa since they came out. In fact, a couple of my cutters are like from when they came out. I'm sure that's why someone said, here, why don't you try a different one? And I have been using it. I used it a lot for, I want this to be as relaxed as possible. I used it a lot for something recently. What's that? Okay, Louise. Yeah, Deborah, this is, it's actually a dress. I don't think you can see it, but it's this dress. But I did it without the ruffles. I sewed it yesterday as kind of my prototype. So I'm pretty into it. There we go. Let me go get my pins. I need, I think, 2, 4, 6, 8 pins. I was gonna iron this, oh yeah, and I'm gonna line my bodice again. Are you working today, Louise? It's a bummer. I guess I am too, but I like it. I like the deer and doe patterns. They're really unique. I am definitely not as accurate with this. Is it obvious to you guys too? Because, whew, it's obvious to me. I just pulled on that. I hate when I do that. I thought that was done, already cut. Still saving fabric for closet case poofs. I think because Olfa came out with it first. Fiskars took a while, is how I remember it. We all had Fiskars scissors and Ginger scissors at the time. That was the trend when all that came out when I was sewing. And yeah, I don't remember Fiskars having them for a while. Olfa kind of had the corner on the market. All right, it's this one here. Oh boy. Okay. Oh, this is the wrong side. Yay! Where's the point? That's funny. I usually go through both layers. I'm having trouble only sticking to that layer. Oh, there we go, like that. And then I poke it through again. And then I pull them away. Like this. And then I secure the pins. These little silk pins stay better, but the double gauze is pretty light and airy. So it can have a tendency to not keep your pins. So make sure you fold it so it won't. Did I already put that back away? I did, right? Yeah, because I want to line this so I don't have to worry about that. I'll do that at the end. Oh, wow. A bit smaller? Yeah, right, Nancy? I saw that Cashmerette just released all their patterns as layers on the PDF. That's pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to do my sleeves. They're going to fit nicely here. Maybe even with a pocket piece. That's right here. Like that. Oh, look at that green line there. Yeah, that blade needs to be switched. I'm gonna flip this like that so I can put a pocket right there. It's not a very long grain line, is it? When I see short grain lines, it always reminds me of when I had this I had this L square ruler, you know, the rulers that are like they're like an L, and it was big. It was like probably, I want to say it was like 24 inches long and maybe 18 inches at the bottom of the L. And my school, my pattern drafting, my fashion design school, FITM, issued it to me, right? So you would think, oh, this is the ruler I need to use, and I kept being off on my right angles, and I couldn't figure it out. And I finally realized my L square was off in that short amount of distance. That's a very short amount of distance to be able to detect something being off like that. It was off like 1/4 of an inch. And so I just threw it away. I had to get rid of it. And it turned out all of our rulers were like that. It was kind of funny. And I have never come across an L square that is not off. It's like they're all used for the same, you know, template. And I feel like it's so obvious when it's on a short, if it's off that much on a short distance, like even this ruler, you know, it's not perfect. Out of the box, most rulers I could afford, and you and I can afford, are not going to be perfect. They're not like astronaut grade, you know, they're not NASA grade. And we don't think of things like that, like measuring devices being inaccurate, but I come across it kind of a lot. And when I see a really short grain line, it's really hard to make sure that this is parallel to the selvage when you only have this little like 5 inches or 4 inches right here. You really you can extend it maybe and get more. So it's just kind of funny. I always think of that L square. You'll notice I didn't notch my bodice because I do know what the front and the back is, so I just really need the sleeve. This gets ruffles, so I don't need the hem. It happened to me again recently because I had ordered nice shades, and I waited and, you know, like saved and did the whole thing, and my husband was like, yeah, let's get them, and I used this tape measure I had always used for knitting. You know, it was cute. It had it was a little like crocheted owl around it. I'm sure you've all seen these. I think Lantern Moon sells them, and they're really cute. They're really cute. I give them as gifts sometimes, and they come in all kinds of animals and stuff. Anyway, I had this owl. It was off. All of my window coverings, I could only get one set to fit because they were being installed on the outside of the window because it was on a door. There was no frame, but all the others wouldn't fit inside the window frame, so they had to sit outside, and I was mad. It's my fault, right? But yeah, I did not realize that thing was off, and whew, I was a wee bit mad. So it always reminds me of that. All right, so let's see how much I might just fold it the other way. So I don't think it'll make it across. Does it make it across? Ooh. I was not expecting that. Okay. That one won't though. Okay. That's okay. What is that? So the same skirt pattern is for front and back. Make sure if you add that little cutaway, you don't cut it on the back too. I'm gonna have enough, or I mean a little bit left over. I asked my daughter if she wanted more of those. Remember those gym shorts we made last year? She wears them all the time, and she said yeah. So if you guys are looking for a free shorts pattern, it's the Pearl Soho. What is it? City Gym Short? City Gym Short. I actually, when I first saw it, I was like, this is not going to work on me. But it does work. It's pretty cute. And I made them for me and my daughter. And it's free. It's a free pattern and it's pretty cute. So I'm probably going to make her some again. And I might even cheat and use my binding machine. You know? And that is a video we did together. So you can find the sewing of it. We haven't sewn any other shorts, I'm sad to say. City Gym Short. City Shorty. Did I say that? I could have said that. But it's, and if you go to my website, soso.live, I linked directly to that pattern. I haven't looked at it lately, so I'm hoping they haven't changed anything. But, because it can be a little tricky to find on their website. Because it's in a blog post, I'm pretty sure, like free patterns live in their blog posts. But if you go to my website, there's a link directly to it. Did I really cut that much off? Oh yeah, because I want that to hang off, shoot. And it comes in a lot of sizes. Yes, you nailed it. But they don't fit like they're from the 80s, Penny. You typed that, okay. Yeah, City Gym Shorts. And I think the pair they show is two-tone with like a Liberty of London fabric. Yeah. But they're actually, my only thing with them is that I do like longer shorts. Yeah. They're fun to sew. I wasn't going to cut it upside down. Or I mean, not on full. I need to make sure my fold is stacked though. So I'm going to actually cut this off. Like this. I keep looking for that spot. Get rid of you. Dang it. I don't like it when it's wrinkly. I can barely get it across. But there's kid sizes. I like the way they fit, and there's a picture of me wearing them. Yes, Louise. It actually would. I think you might want a little bit longer rise. Just raise them up a little bit. but they aren't super low rise or anything. There's a picture of me wearing mine, and I used a cotton lawn, I think from I want to say it was from Art Gallery maybe. They're really nice. And my daughter, I made her prototype pair with ecot on the front, and I think another ecot on the back, like a black and a white, and there's a picture of her wearing them. My daughter's very slender, very small, and at the time, this was like a year ago, she was 16, and I think I said what size I made for her as well. And then the orange pair I made for her was the final pair. The only thing for her is that she likes things really low, and so she rolls it down even more. So some, like the teens, might like it, like the teenage group might want it rolled down a little more, or a lower rise. But there's kid sizes in there too. And so I think I think it's kind of a fun pattern because you can do like each panel a different fabric and just dash bust if you need some play shorts for your kids for outside. I think that's a good call. Oh my God, let me focus before I get that person who comments, stop talking to the people. I got one of those comments the other day. I was like, I'm not gonna stop talking to you guys. That's what I'm here for. You know, sometimes when I did not get that. Let's get this on the fold better. See, double gauze kind of has a mind of its own, I feel like. I mean, I see what Penny says. It's like working with a knit, even though it's not a knit, you know? It kind of is just like, yeah, I'm fine here, thanks. You know? All right, so I have mine folded up right now because I'm doing version A with the ruffles. Yeah, but you know, Nancy, for a lot of folks, they're not here live, and they're looking for a free, quick, edited tutorial. And that's just not what I do. Hey, Megan. So I forgive them because it's, you know, that's what they're looking for. And I know what I do isn't for everybody. But at the same time, what I do is a very specific thing. So I'm cutting out both my front and my back out right now. Which line is my line? This one here. I'm going to notch my centers. So fun fact, when I cut this out in the gingham, was so hyper worried about fabric and running out. And so I made the cutaway pockets, but you know what I did? I cut one pocket opening on each, one on the front and one on the back. And so I was like at my sewing machine going, now what I do? So I've had to put a seam down the center and piece them. All right, so let's pull one of these away. My back. I need a drink of water. Your hedgehog dress, Megan? It's gonna be cute. Should have worn that today. Oh, I did just cut my pattern pieces, didn't I? Oh well. I'll just tape these on here. Okay. So I don't need to put a little facing like I did on this pocket. Sorry, I have a tickle. Because I have enough fabric. All right, so now we just are down to our ruffles. And I was cutting those pockets out, but I didn't end up going forward with that. Sorry, that was loud, huh? Oh, really, Ray? Well, that is funny. For me, it usually works. Like if I say view chat, it's synced up. And because I was looking back at a really old one for something. I can't remember what it was. I think I was making sure I showed a certain step because someone had asked for something, and I said, I think it's in this video, and I thought, okay, I have time. I'm gonna go look. And it was fun seeing your guys' names in there, and it was like at my old studio. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so that could be really out of context for folks. They're just like, who is this lady talking to? White and gold brocade. Ooh. All right, so this is on the fold, huh? Well, that's not possible. That's not possible by a long shot. Look at that. What the heck? What's this measure? Oh, you'd have to have a 54-inch wide fabric to make this work. Okay, so we're gonna piece that together. Will my sleeve at least fit here? No, because it's on the fold too. Well, hot diggity. Okay, fine. I can put my pocket over here. So now I need 4 of these. And there's gonna be a seam down the middle. Yeah, that's so funny that it doesn't do that sometimes. I wonder why. Do you think it doesn't always record it? It doesn't do that for Twitch for me almost every time. But I think it's funny when we would be on Twitch sometimes. Remember, people would say, is this live? They would ask me. You guys probably didn't see if you're on YouTube. And I'd be like, yeah, this is live. Small streamers sometimes don't have anybody chatting in their chat. So then it's hard to tell, is it live or not? Not a replay. Do I really want a seam down the middle? Not really. I kind of want to do it in thirds. Oh, Ruffles cut on the cross screen, it says. I could do that. I'll just do that. The obvious button. Wouldn't that be great if there was a button called obvious button? Because I swear, sometimes I'm reading things, especially like politically charged things, and I'm trying to figure out what they're saying. I find it so interesting that sometimes I can't tell. I'm like, wait, what are you saying? And I really wish there was obvious button. Like, just don't dance around it. If you have something to say, and even if it's kind of intense, if you're afraid to say it, then you shouldn't be posting anything at all, right? So just tell me what it is. I think this will work. So let's see. This would be my ruffle. And this would be my skirt. You can't even tell it's on the cross grain, right? Oh, maybe it was the same one. I feel like that's the one with the comment that says stop talking to people. It was a drafting one, I'm pretty sure. See, that'll work. You can't, I mean, you can kind of tell, but when it's gathered up, it'll be fine. It's fine for me. Okay. Cool. That solves that. No seam. I didn't want a seam. I don't want the, I don't want it to act different. Right, exactly. Oh, really, Louise? That's weird. I'm sorry. So now if I bias this way, I'd have double that left. So I'm going to do that. You guys aren't here for me doing this quickly, that's for sure. You would have left a long time ago. So what are you guys working on? I feel like everything is different now. I feel a little lost, I'll be honest. I feel a little lost with a lot of things. Like I love doing this. This is what I want to do. I just want to hang out with people and help them with sewing or draft stuff or sew. That's really all I want to do. It's all I've ever really wanted to do. But I just don't see how sustainable it is for me, right? And I'm like, well, I actually don't even know what to do if I don't do this. Like, I've never been a wifey poo. I've never been, you know, by wifey poo I mean just you know, only doing whatever my husband needs. If anything, he's the one that does everything for me. No. This is what I want to do. Masks and masks. Right, Ramona? I'm about to make some more today. I'm just going to bust out a few because one of the workers here needed them. All right. I was really hoping this one job prospect I had last fall was going to come through because I felt like, ooh, this is perfect. I can continue to do this and I could do that, you know? And I'm still kind of sad that it didn't work out. I don't know why it didn't work out. I don't think anyone got the job. And I know I was qualified for the most part. I mean, like, I don't know how 30 years wouldn't be worth something. Right. Oh, man. Oh, that's cool, Ray. You're going to deconstruct your shorts? That's awesome. And what a great reason to. Congratulations. Oh, cool, Derek. Oh, Louise, right? Exactly. Yes. So what are you thinking, Ramona, that you want to do that's fun for you? Yeah, I feel like that was, it felt like I needed to feel useful then too. I feel the same way right now. Like I want to do more and I'm trying to figure out how. I can't only be a production sewer. It just doesn't work. So tell me more about the live sing. A muslin pajama top, the rest best. Oh. Oh, Louise, that's smart. Pollyanna just saying it. I haven't heard that term in a while. Oh boy, Nancy. So it's a quilt, it's a complicated block. Is it the same block over and over? I finished my rainbow quilt that day. I was kind of coming down with whatever I was sick with. But I need to kind of finesse it a little bit. I can tell I missed the mark, you know, like getting things to line up in a couple spots, you know. They don't have to, but I want them to. So. Okay, we got our skirt ruffles. I just need 2. Now I need sleeve ruffles. Hello, Mina Lolita. What do you mean, what do I use for my overhead camera? You been on vacation, Nancy? Nice. Are you ready to go back to work? You excited or what? Okay, so I want my pocket to be on grain because it's going to be behind the shirt, yeah. All right, let's do my collar. Yeah, I just saw that, Anesh. I had to look at the pattern envelope because I was like, wait a minute. I thought that I could get this on 45, and this is not narrow fabric. But yeah, that's what I ended up doing. I cut them on the cross grain. Luckily, that worked with this fabric. Because I think when I ordered this pattern and fabric, I did so at the same moment, so I didn't have the pattern with me. I would have been really bummed if this had been like a print that would have been sideways for the cross grain, you know? You know what I mean, jelly beans? I am definitely not as accurate with this blade. I can't see it because this is so big. But it is good for my hand to be in a different position. Oh, I don't usually cut on this side. Mark on my center. And this time I'm going to mark my, oh, I did there. Okay, so I think I will, probably by the time I sew this, I will trim off 3/8 of an inch around the perimeter. What's that for? Just because I don't like 5/8 inch seam allowance on necklines. And then I'm going to do this in poplin. Oh, cool, Ramona. Eliza, how's it going? Yeah, but I'm taking my sweet time here. They're all just humoring me. I only need one of these. I just made it so that I would cut out 2. I don't typically use iron-on interfacing, just so you know, but you can totally do that. I just use leftover poplin. This collar is at a crazy angle, but it works. I like the way it sits. It's kind of, I feel like I cheated by sewing this yesterday without you guys. Oh, me too, Nancy. Oh, okay. I'm going to check that out, Nancy. Yeah, I hope she does too. I actually was thinking about reaching out to Christy and saying, all right, because maybe what I'll do is look at one of those, like I was going to see what website she recommended for doing like a bra making kit or underwear kit. Maybe even something that if anyone else wants to join in so they have the same thing, you know? Oh, really? That's cool, Derek. Wow. Isn't it amazing seeing people from all over the world? Yeah, I mean, I'm all like, I think from the beginning, folks like Malin and now I just like think of you all like being just Here. See, this is what I'm not too big of a fan of this. I think I'm pressing too much. Anyway, yeah. Like, I remember from the first day when I told my husband and Cricket, I was like, there was someone from Sweden there. But I also know that the timing for someone here is tough if they're at work. So, oh, really, Megan? Okay. All right, Aneshka, I've done that too. You know, I appreciate you trying to tell me, though. Yeah, we need enough notice to order, Louise. I know, and I'm terrible at that. So I need to get on that, and I think I think I'll look at that. Yeah, especially since you're in the UK, Louise. Exactly. Okay, I need my sleeve ruffles. I still need my pockets. That just cracks me up since I've been trying to fit them in the entire time. Alright, so, I don't think I can get my sleeve ruffles in without being on the cross screen as well. That's okay, though. Yeah, exactly, Malin. Yeah, so I think it would be fun. You know, and I was also thinking, you guys, how do you feel about this? Like, I have to say, look, when I was telling you guys earlier about that job I applied for, they had a checkbox. They had check boxes of all the things that I've sewn. And they're like, it's okay if you just check one box. And I was like, okay, cool. Because I was like, oh, God, look at all these boxes. I am, and I don't know, I guess I'm proud to say that I actually could check very confidently every single box. There were a lot of them. I couldn't believe some of the things they'd come up with. But one, and that was the bras and underwear. I've drafted bras and underwear, especially for the outdoor market, but I've never sewn it the way you would sew it for like ready to wear, like how people are doing it right now. I've definitely made things like that for myself, but not using some of that equipment or anything. And so I was like, okay, well, that's the one thing I haven't sewn, and and it felt glaringly like this huge thing I hadn't done. And I was like, that's okay, really, that's not really a standard thing, and there hasn't been really any supplies to do it until recently. So I was thinking, like, I kind of want to delve into the stitching, how to optimize for stitching and the different kinds of stitching and imitating things, and using my home machine, not my industrial the whole time. Because I'm not an expert in it. I'm not even going to pretend that I'm an expert in bra making or underwear making. So it's going to be a learning experience for me too. And I thought that might be kind of fun, or maybe really frustrating. So I'm not sure what you guys think about that. But you guys know I'm not an expert in that. So I feel like you know that going in. I keep doing that too. So I think that's really, the steps to sew those things are actually pretty straightforward. It's really the techniques that kind of make us all go, yee, you know, so. Hello, Stephanie. Welcome. Yay. You aren't the only Brit here. We sometimes have quite a few of you over there in the UK. Derek and Louise are here. Who else? Malin's even further. Yeah, right, Malin? That's how I feel, too. The Epervier Bralette. Epervier. Who's that by? What's the old picture? Wait, I gotta catch up. Oh, gosh, I didn't see something up there. Let me see. Oh. Oh, that was my thing. I'm like, space. Who wrote space? I did. Right, Nancy? Me too. I actually used to have to buy them from Victoria's Secret. I am not proud of, but that was all I could get to fit me. And then I really pushed myself to find something. I found Minimizer that I really liked, so that's what I did. I'm gonna cut both these at the same time. Yeah, Nancy, I sewed the gingham dress off camera because, and it's why I'm so zoomed in today. I'll zoom out at the end and show you my dress. But it you know, it just, these cameras don't like fussy prints, and they will start doing crazy things. We've all seen it. I've had to end the stream because of it. I don't understand it enough. Someone asked me about cameras today, but I didn't know what they were looking for. So I didn't respond yet. It wasn't someone I'd seen before, so. Because if it's like how I get my camera up there, well, let me tell you. A little bit of spit and a shoestring, that's how it's up there. You gotta come up with your own clever ways. Alright, so there's my sleeves. I'm not even putting my pattern pieces with the pattern pieces because it's not hard. Alright, I don't want the paper. I got my little scrap fabric bin right here. My last thing that cuts the pockets. It kind of cracks me up. Did I do the facings? Nope. That would have been a bummer. Okay. I am chewing through this fabric, eh? I think I had 5 yards. Okay, wait. You got a bra kit from Blackbird. Okay. Alana. Hey, Sydney. Yeah, perfect when working from home. Okay. I like that that's, you have home bras and away bras. I can appreciate that. I love taking my bra off at the end of the day. Sorry, guys. I mean, it's just how it is. I'm sure you can relate for something else. And it gets so hot here. I have bust dust that I got from Mega Babe, and I really like it. Which is also my cue to remind you guys, like, I don't know about you, but I have to wear shorts under a lot of dresses because it's so hot here. If my thighs rub, it's really, really uncomfortable. And so I get something from Mega Babe for that too. And instead of wearing shorts sometimes, because shorts can be kind of hot. What kind of pattern though, Megan? Rest vest. I've never heard of the rest vest. This is one advantage if you cut out your interfacing in fabric, or even the Pellon, you can use it to cut out your other pieces, which is kind of nice. I just need to do the front and the back in the lining fabric. I altered this pattern piece here so it does not look like theirs at the beginning of the stream. Okay. Well, we got that close. Maybe I wouldn't have been so cavalier in the beginning. 5 yards down to a scrap. I thought I was going to have a bunch left. All right. All right, so I have this, what is this called? Is this called Bimberg rayon? Am I making that up? I know I'm not making up the term Bimberg rayon, but I don't know if that's, I got this from Hearts Fabric, and it's just a way, I just bought it just to have on hand, and I'm really glad I did because I've been using it to line double gauze on the hedgehog dress, and on this one I'm going to do it, and I'm really glad. I don't need it for the whole lining, I just want it for the bodice. So yeah, I can't use bralettes either. It doesn't have underwire. Yeah, exactly. I kind of knew exactly what you meant when you said that, because I was like, when there was all that scare that underwire was bad for you, I was like, hell no. I really need it. And then it was like proven false. So I don't always have it, but all right. So I have to admit, I do not like cutting this fabric out very much, just like you guys probably don't either. But I'm going to try and cut it out very accurately because it likes to move around. It's super annoying. There's probably some really clever tricks on cutting with it. You gotta love a mat that doesn't catch your fabric. Before there were cutting mats that could fit your table, I used to go to a place called Humboldt Plastics in Humboldt County and when I lived there, and they would sell us a 1/8 inch sheet of PVC, basically poly like this, and that's what I would use because I had my tables were so big, you know. And but over time, eventually, especially fuzzy things would get stuck in the table or it would catch a little bit. So it is a nice day and age where that does not happen for a fabric like this. I will admit. All right, so I need 3 pins. This is my... I mean, you can still do that. It's very affordable. It cost me like $80 to have a mat like that. But like this one here, I had made for this table, and it cost me the same price, mainly because they're cutting up a full-size mat in order to do it. So. Oh wow! Did you get to go to the fabric store, Louise? Yeah, well, so I think I missed a couple. Big industrial kind. Yeah. My friend had a funny term for that, and I can't think of what it is right now. Sometimes these little pins, like in this kind of fabric like this, I will do this. Do I have one of those here? Oh shoot. As long as I know where the pin went in, that's all that matters. But I will make sure that these pins won't come out by, like before clover clips, I would sometimes just roll it up and then clip it down, like pin it so that it wouldn't come undone. It's like it expels your pins. It's kind of annoying, you know? Remember to hit the like button. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ray. Yeah, I've been noticing a lot of you enter the stream and like things, like I can see the likes go up and it's like, oh, you guys are amazing. Now that I know that helps, I'll push it more, but I always forget. And commenting on videos, like not in the chat, but comments, I guess. So I don't know if the chat comments count. Because sometimes I get a little synopsis at the end of a stream. It'll say, this is how many minutes. It doesn't tell me viewers or anything like that. But it tells me how many comments I have right after a stream. So sometimes it'll say 500 comments. All right. I don't really have much of this left, but I'm sure it'll be handy for something else. Last piece. 1, 2, 3, 4. I said 8 last time, huh? You do, Nancy. You always do. I notice. But doesn't include your needle sharp box? That's good, Megan. Yeah, Penny. I am with you. My friend Maria, you sometimes see her here. She's a moderator. From a needle runs through it. I can feel where my pin went through right here. It's great. She has a laser cutter. It's not like she didn't get it for cutting out things in fabric, but she does use it, and she's been laser cutting masks. Yeah, laser cutting, I'm pretty sure. I'm so jealous. Like, I think, like, I would definitely probably have sewn more had I not had to keep cutting them. And my cuts were never big enough to get my machine out. So it was just that weird thing. Like, I could cut, 300 or 400 masks with just a few layers of fabric. And even if I had stacked those up higher, the stack just wasn't very big for that machine. And I didn't really want to cut more than, 300 out at a time. So I could never really use that machine I have, the stack cutter, but she can laser cut it, and she can just set it up to do that. So that's pretty cool. And the pattern's built in, notched and everything. It's pretty cool. She loves it. I always reply, Nancy. I pretty much reply to every comment I see. There's a couple that I just ignore, I will admit, because you know what? I do this for free. So I don't have to reply to some of those comments because I find them kind of disrespectful. So I have my limits. I'm nice. I have boundaries though too. Here, I'll scroll out my camera so you can see my dress a little better. But I need to unzoom it. Yeah, like a Cricut machine. Yeah. It just can't do as many layers. The Cricut can't. My thank you can see my thank you cards. See? It's kind of short. I like it. Well, and Nancy, I just, it's not even that I don't have nothing nice to say. I don't really even know how to reply because, I don't know. I tend to be a very, very, very honest person. And I feel like honesty sometimes comes across as rude. And it's not even that I'm not being nice. Because I would just say, well, I'm sorry, that's just not how my stream is structured. But I'm just like, I don't know. They don't have to watch. They don't have to comment. But they're welcome to. So yeah. Socks. Wait, what is that? You only buy jog pants, jeans, and socks. What is my... Oh, it's because my mouse keeps hovering over there. A double fancy seam ripper. Yeah, isn't this great? So it's got the little collar stand. And then the angle is natural. It's built in. It's not pulled away. I did not put buttonholes. These are sewn straight through because I can get it on and off over my head. But yeah, it's a little loose in the waist. Like I could take it in a little bit, but I'm not going to. And I almost took it so that it's a little more parallel on the front to the floor. But yes. And I think the sleeve fits really great. I love it. I'm really loving it. And you can see my little cutaway pockets. See, I'm always kind of looking for them. They're down here. So, yeah. Yeah, Louise, right? I'm actually really surprised by what people say in general. I'm like, you didn't have to say anything. Not on my channel, but just in general when I see people commenting on things on Instagram, I'm like, really, you don't have to look for... I feel like we look for chinks in the armor or a negative thing or something better than them. And it's like, it's okay to let them have their truth and let them carry on in their own truth. It's okay. You do not need to put your truth on them, So, yeah. You'd love to see my process, Ramona? I uploaded a lot of mask videos. You could fast forward through some if you want. I did like a initial one right when it all started going down. And then I kind of improved upon that for more production style. I also showed how I use my binding machine. I dug it out. It was mothballed. And then, I showed how the Spoonflower DIY mask kit is sewn. And if you just look on my website, soso.live, and look up the masks or the very first tab, like shop for patterns, there's a ton of links there. So you can just fast forward through them, like get what you want out of it and see. Because I favor a certain style, and the style, most people favor a different style. So, yeah, it is loose in the waist. Exactly. And this is the 44. But I think the PDF patterns come in more sizes. Yeah, Louise, I know. Hey, Helen. How's it going? We're almost done. I zoomed out so everyone can see my gingham dress. When I'm big in the frame, it's fine. It doesn't do that crazy thing, but I got a gingham dress finally. Happy. Yeah, I like to kill people with kindness too. I can be really blunt, and I think the only thing that now stops me is because I am not hard to find on the internet. And I just really don't want to deal with it. Like, move on. And I'm in the gaming community too, and man, I see some stuff. I'm just like, you did not even need to show up with that. Sheesh. Took me... What did he say? Sydney? Oh my God. Oh gosh. Yeah, assuming is never a good idea. Yeah, Ramona, this is the, it's cute, huh? It's the, here, I'll do my overhead again. Oh, but I don't know how, yeah, I'm okay. It's this one. So it's this Myosotis. That's how you spell it. The chat had to teach me how to say this because literally this word was getting stuck in my head and I could not sound it out. I couldn't, it's rare that a word does that, Yeah, right, Helen? Oh, Megan, did you? It's not for the faint at heart. This one's, yeah, watch the first one. The first one is just, the story is so good. The second one I think is going to be a little bit more violent. Jaws. I watched Jaws and so great. The largest size, okay, so Ramona, I'm pretty sure in their PDF patterns they have more sizes. So this one goes to 46, which is a, do you want metric or inches? I can't remember where you live, Ramona. So the bust is 41 inches or 104 centimeters. Thump, 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 thump. Arc. My sister gave me Skyrim. Is that like Arc? Inches, Wyoming. Okay. Yeah, so 41 bust. I'm wearing the 44. My bust is about a 39. And it says 39 and a half. Oof. Oof, that focus, though, huh? Yeah, so that's why I'm saying Hearts Fabric put me onto the fact that their PDF patterns usually come in more sizes. So I would check that out, and then you could print out the size that you like. The finished bust for the largest size on here is 46, and the waist is 39. The waist for my size is 31. I guess, I mean, this feels a little bigger. Dinosaur versus human. Okay. Like Monster Hunter? My brother-in-law got really into that. If it's a game where I have to sit there and, like, figure out, like, what gun I want and what style I'm going to play, I get a little overwhelmed. I see some of those menus and I'm like, eh. You know? Yeah. Oh, cool, Helen. Oh, nice. So you liking the Tanya culottes? I love those things. Yeah, buy a wide fabric unless you want your ruffles on the cross grain. Aneshka reminded me of that. I hope I remember your name right. But yeah, it's so it does say that in here in the recommended, but I think I bought this pattern when I bought the fabric. You got to get killed by wild dinos. Wild dinosaurs. There's gonna be dinosaurs in Last of Us Part 2 as well, kind of. Not real ones though. Yeah, I actually watched some of the game last night, and everyone's like, "You're watching it? That's spoilery." I'm like, "No, I didn't. I kept myself so like away from all the spoilers. Now that I can watch the actual game and watch people who I like, the way they play, watch them play it through, it's fine." So, and I get to play tonight. I'll go home soon. I'm gonna make a few masks. It's only on one. It feels like I've been streaming a lot longer. I feel like I took forever to cut this. And tame them. No zombies. There's no zombies in The Last of Us. They're not zombies. They're what happens to you if you don't wear a mask. They're infected. I went to a donut store yesterday. You guys, I have not gone out in public. Maybe 4 times. I'm not exaggerating. My husband has done a lot of things, and my daughter have done things, and they do the whole thing, like sanitize, wear gloves, mask, all of it, right? I just haven't had to. And I was like, you know what? I'm feeling brave, and I want a donut. I never really want a donut. And there's a place here that makes them fresh, so they don't give me a tummy ache. And I went in and nobody was wearing masks, and I was just like, really? They're donuts. They're like in the open. Not even a essential food. Yeah. I'm horrible. I don't know. I'm looking forward to this story on this one. It looks amazing. The game looks beautiful, even though it's intense. I watched a couple of things last night and I was like, I'm a little scared. I won't lie. Yeah, right, Ramona? Yeah, we've done a lot of that too. Now we're moving. We're like learning a different grocery store. So, yeah, Nancy. I was already well in there because there was a line. And then I was like, oh, okay. Do I just throw these away out the door? It was awkward. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. About them not wearing a mask. Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. And the infected here of cases is significantly on the rise. Yeah, so I don't know. It's not a political thing. It's a public safety thing. That's right. Your son does. What does he like to play? That's good, Nancy. You've got 2 parts of your family. You've gotten them sick? You haven't gotten them sick. That's a bummer. You've got 10 people in your family. Oh, sorry, Megan. Yeah, you know what? I feel that way for the most part of California, considering how large California is, especially. But there's been a few things that have happened lately in California that I'm just like, who are you? You know? So, not me. Yeah, okay. That's what I figured. So, let's see. So, next week, I'm going to sew this. I'll sew it in 2 parts, Wednesday and Thursday. I know, Sydney. Oh, okay. Okay, Helen. FIFA. My husband just drug out his FIFA game and he's playing it, and it's adorable, but he gets frustrated at that. And I have like the most even keeled guy, super diplomatic, calm. He was a philosophy major, very poised. But when he plays FIFA or watches football, soccer, he gets a little heated. Oh, man. Yeah, right, Ramona? Exactly. It's kind of simple, right? Oh, yeah, Nancy, yeah. Oh, cool, Meg. You're going to try and make this one? Yeah, I think you could. This is pretty high-waisted on me. So I think like I actually considered lowering it like an inch, and then it would still be like right at the waist. My belly button is down here, just so you know. And we typically don't even wear things that high, so you're gonna need to flare it a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, right, Sydney. Oh gosh. In California, there's a little bit of a divide like that, and in fact, I'm definitely in a less liberal area, but I still feel like a lot of people can communicate and work things out. I am about 5'4". I'm wearing clogs. I always wear clogs. Yeah, and I don't feel like I'm pretty proportional, but I feel like I'm a little short-waisted. That's why I feel like this is why I was like, maybe my new style's a baby doll. My measurements are about 39, 31, which I don't think is right because they say the finished waist on this is 31 and this is a little big. And then 42 hip. I don't mind. Measurements are just numbers to me. I don't mind sharing any of that. And I'm a double D cup. I've got a pretty narrow rib cage, but then I have a pretty big, tummy, low waist. You bought a Baby Yoda mask? My daughter sent me a picture today of a TikTok, and it was this pug wearing a mask, but not like a coronavirus mask. It had a little spot so he could breathe, but then mesh here, and then he had cut out eyeballs, and the caption was, "I ate a mushroom in the yard. Now I have to wear. My mom made me a mask," or something like that. And I was like, that hits the nail on the head. My pug is snuffling up every freaking thing in the yard right now and throwing up every other, once a day. It's so annoying. Yeah, right, Aneshka? Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't, I bet your height would be perfect. I feel like they say it's drafted for a certain height, but that might be a different company. Yeah, and then the hashtag for this is usually for deer and doe. Their hashtag is DD and then the word. And on Instagram you can click it from my profile. They don't have the hashtag right here. So, yeah. Really, Ramona? Oh, looks like Yoda. That's so cute. Night, Malin. Sleep well. Maybe see you Wednesday. You bought this fabric with pot on it with flowers. Oh, God. I almost made that mistake once, too. I'm like, yeah. I'm not into pot fabrics. Well, cool. I have to get to the post office. So if you've ordered from me and you got a shipping label, is that it, Penny? I think is it with the word dress or not? I thought it was, this. I thought it was just that. Yeah, she does always make interesting patterns. I totally agree, Ray. Yeah, Megan, that's a bummer. Yeah, so anyway, if you've ordered something and you got a shipping label and you're like, why can't I track it yet? I am really sorry, but I didn't know they changed the hours of the drop-off thing since the quarantine happened. It closes at 5. What closes at 5? I thought it closed at 5:30, so I went there at 5 and they were closed. I went there yesterday at 9 a.m. They were closed. So they're open from 10 to 5. Today they're only open till 3. And I have, my whole truck is filled with packages right now. And now they're like, have 3 dates on them. So I'm a little worried. I got to get them dropped off today. So I'm really sorry about that. I'll do a post about that too. So I thought I would take a lot longer to get packages out, but I actually got things, packaged right away, and then I only got 1 batch off now because I happened to go at the right time. So I'm still getting the hang of these ship times. So, oh, that'll be cute, Helen. It has dress, check both. Yeah, I just do all of it. I do Myosotis dress, DD Myosotis, and DD Myosotis dress. So cover all the bases. I thought it was a really good way to kind of go, okay, how is this fitting people? Because I was a little worried. I know I was like, wait a minute, because they have PO boxes in there, so I think they can leave their front door open and they lock beyond a gate the rest of the place. But still, I have so much anxiety about dropping packages off because I've had so many bad interactions with the post office here. I used to love the post office where I used to live, and here they're really combative. I don't know how else to say it. I'm like, I'm doing all the work for you. All I want to do is give you a package. So I will, Louise. I did it on my bag patterns. Yeah. Right, Louise? I know. It helps so much because I look for it now. All right, well, I feel like I'm dragging you guys along here. So like the video, comment. I really appreciate it. If you want to support me on Patreon, you guys know where to find me there. And no, we don't have a PO box here. I had it where I used to live because there was no street mail delivery, but now we just have a street address. So, and I'm still here, so that didn't change. It worked out. But anyway, so I'm on Instagram, and my website has everything I've made. So you can find all the links to videos in the order. If you're looking for the cutting video or sewing part 1, you can only find part 2 on YouTube. Just go there. It's a very concise thing. I'm not trying to suck you into doing anything on there. It's just a nice way to put like brief information, like what size I made, what fabric I used, and what my thoughts, and then the links to the videos right there. So I am much further, Nancy. I was a mile away before. Yeah, I know. I'm going to the UPS store instead. I don't go to the post office anymore. The last time I was there, I had such a bad experience. I cried. I was like, you told me to do this. I'm doing it. I've done all the work. I'm even dropping the packages off. All I want to do is set them down for you. And no one would help me. So, and I was at the loading dock like they told me, and they just ignored me. It was awful. I was just like, I had like 175 packages in my car. Yeah. And so I had to take them back to my office, and my mail carrier was like, WTF. I was like, I'm not taking them. I'm not taking them. I'm sorry, but I went up there and they were combative with me. I've tried. I've kept bringing my packages. Oh, I'm paying for door-to-door delivery. You should just pick up my packages and deliver them. So, anyway. You don't want to hear this. Hi, Lou. Good morning. Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh. We're signing off now. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I don't get to escape this post office here. So yeah, Nancy, my drive is about 22 minutes. But I've listened to 2 books. So I'm happy about that. It's not very far. There was a horrible accident on the freeway there the other day, though. So that's made me a little bit creeped out because of Cricket going back and forth. And now I'm like, be home by 10. She's like, 10? I was like, yeah. So anyway, I'm going to go. Okay, bye, guys. I'll see you Wednesday. We'll sew part 1 and part 2 Thursday. And then on Saturday, I'm going to sew the zip double. So for anyone who has that pattern, I'm going to sew it live. And I'm going to do a zipper modification for the pocket, 2 of them. So, all right, guys, I will see you later. I don't even think I did my thumbnail today. Did I? Yeah, I did. Okay. Bye, guys.